A local favorite since 1981. They offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and Peking duck. The Great Wall Restaurant is located off 45th and France, with takeout available too. More at greatwallrestaurant.us. Nightingale on 26th and Lyndale is the ultimate venue for unforgettable gatherings. Whether big or small, your event will be a hit with delicious food and drinks served in a warm and inviting atmosphere. Plus, Chef Carrie's special creations add that extra touch. Craft cocktails, curated drinks, and a diverse menu make Nightingale perfect for any celebration. More at nightingalempls.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. And we'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shambot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Our station is located on a marsh, and we do our best not to disturb that environment. So I was thrilled to discover Natural Lawn. Their safer products and soil tests ensure that your lawn will be healthy, lush, and green. I don't even have to worry about bringing my furry friend to the station, thanks to the great care from Natural Lawn. I highly recommend Natural Lawn to keep your lawn beautiful, healthy, without compromising safety and sustainability. More at naturalawn.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 45. Then Thursday, clearing skies with a low of 55. Spring has arrived, and it's time to take a good look at your lawn. If there are brown spots or bare patches, Natural Lawn can help. Natural Lawn takes an organic approach that's safe for both people and pets. Don't wait for summer and contact Natural Lawn today. Go to naturalawn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this segment of Native Roots Radio Network is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in Minnesota's Little Learners.
Absolutely, Haley. And, you know, we're excited to be partnering with Little Moments Count to host conversations focused on early childhood development. And we bring guests on each month to talk about how they view the role of early childhood development in creating bright futures and strong communities. And right away, let's just head off here. We got Janice LaFloe, who's the founder of MAICC and the former primary guide of the Children's House, and she's a member of Turtle Mountain Tribe, and we're excited to have her. And also LaVon Lee, who has been in with the Montessori American Indian Childcare Center since its inception in 2014 and is serving as director. Well, let's jump in to this right away because I have a lot of questions, and welcome you guys, and good to see you, Janice. Janice, we have to talk. We can't wait. So,
Sorry. Bonjour. Thank you, Robert, for hosting us today.
great to have you, and nice to meet you, LaVon.
Thank you. We've met. My hubby's John, so but nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Your hubby's John Lee?
John Poopart.
Oh, John. We just had John on. That's awesome.
I know. I was asking him how this process works, so he was very helpful. But thank you, Robert. I'm happy to be here.
Right on. Well, let's get to these questions so our listening audience can find out and understand what you guys do. Both of you have been deeply involved in the Montessori American Indian Childcare Center since its inception. Would you elaborate on the importance of revitalizing language and culture? And I'll start with you first, Janice.
Thanks, Robert. We all know our mother tongue is formed in our early learning years. And so if we are truly sincere in revitalizing our language, we have to expose our youngest children to our language. And I'm actually going to let LaVon share a little bit more about that significance. She's been investing in revitalizing language and culture for a little bit longer than I have.
Yes, prior to my work at the Montessori American Indian Childcare Center, I worked at the Grotto Foundation with their language revitalization initiative. And language is extremely important to our children. And what it does is it identifies who they are and where they come from. And when they're exposed to Indigenous language at an early age, it creates a learning environment. It creates confidence. It creates pride in being American Indian. And it validates their identity and who they are. And we believe that through the integration of both language and culture into the Montessori teaching strategies, children are going to be stronger. They're going to be more confident. And we see that in our 10 years of serving children. They're proud of who they are. They love being Indian. They love being validated. They love being respected. And when they leave our school, they're ready for public school. They're ready for first grade. Well-grounded in their culture and language, and also intellectually strong, which is what we want when we're preparing our children for public school. We all know that public education has not been kind to our children, nor successful in educating our children. And we're doing that right now.
Absolutely. And Janice, it's so important too we talk about early childhood with the neurons and the things connecting in your brain to learn two languages, and how important that is just to do that to early childhood development.
Absolutely. For a long time, people were scared, right, about the concept of two languages and thinking children would be confused by it. But research actually validates children who are brought up in multi-language environments develop an even greater capacity for creative thinking and problem solving, and being more oriented to be accepting of other perspectives, because language is one of those foundations that give us that first opportunity to learn about a different perspective. And so when you talk about the significance of brain development, exposing children to all kinds of beautiful things in their early years is absolutely critical, so that they can develop as many possible neuron pathways between the left and the right side of their brain.
Wow. LaVon, do you have anything to add to that? Because
I don't. I just know that the children that we work with, they can hear a word in Ojibwe or Lakota, remember it, and enunciate it perfectly, much better than I can.
Wow.
Yeah, they have that elastic brain.
They have that ability.
Right. Where I'm on the other side of that hill, kind of heading down there, can barely remember my name sometimes. But that's a different show. Janice, can you tell us a little bit about your Montessori school? Because my two Haley and I were talking about that, and Haley's friends with your daughter, and I was asking her a few questions that I didn't know. So you've been around since 2012, is that correct?
2014. We opened in the fall of 2014. And so a little over 80 children. I'm very proud, which is about 60-ish, a little over 60 families have attended and participated at our Montessori Childcare Center and have been off. Our first group of children to graduate and go off to elementary are actually in middle school now. So I'm really excited about, where they are, who they are, how they're doing. So Montessori really is not exactly just a curriculum, because it's an entire approach to understanding development of children from before birth all the way to that time in their mid-20s when their brain is actually fully developed. Dr. Montessori studied children and development for a number of years, almost her whole entire life, to begin to articulate that children go through 4 stages of development. And in the early learning years, that's the first plane of development. And that's when the formation of who they are is established. So I think that is a significant time, and why we chose early learning and why we chose Montessori. We really do get to understand and recognize all of the aspects of development and want to surround our children with all of those beautiful things.
Wow, that was beautiful what you said there. Hey, we're going to take a quick break here, and we got to pay the bills. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm with LaVon Lee and Janice LaFloe, along with producer Hal Cherry. How do you like that, Haley?
Love it. Stay with us.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Attention transit customers. On Saturday, March 16th, Metro Transit will make changes to transit service within your community. As we do each quarter, we review our resources and ridership trends. These service changes continue our ongoing work to best serve customers throughout our system with our given resources. A summary of the upcoming service changes and a preview of the updated schedules are available now at metrotransit.org.
Seward Co-op offers convenient grab-and-go options as well as hot bars and salad bars at both the Friendship and our newly remodeled Franklin store. Breakfast items are available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch is served all day every Sunday. Our weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight culinary traditions and cuisines from around the world. We offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free items every day. 90% of the ingredients used are from organic, local, and small-scale producers whenever possible. Learn more at seward.coop.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This segment of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life.
Hey, we are here with Janice LaFloe and LaVon Lee of Montessori American Indian Childcare Center, and we are talking about Montessori schools and how it helps with early development. Janice, can I just finish before I get to LaVon? I just want to finish a little bit more about specifically your Montessori school. And I have my Weeha is having twins. My twins are having twins, and so we're multiplying here in the pilot gene. So yeah, so that's 4. No, wait, that's 2. But so her husband's Ojibwe and she's Ho-Chunk, of course. And looking into the Montessori, is there a cost to your school? What's the process to get somebody in your school, in your Montessori?
Thanks for asking, Robert. Of course, we are a licensed child care center, and so we do actually charge a tuition like most child care centers. They would first reach out and get an application. You can find an application for our school online at www.americanindianmontessori.net. So the very first step is to actually fill out an application to attend the school. We will reach back and begin a conversation about what it is. There are things that are required as a licensed child care center. And then we can talk about what the financial needs of families are. There are public dollars available to help support low-income families. We also offer internal scholarships based on being over income for public scholarships. And so I'm always more than happy to begin a conversation. We never turn a family away who cannot afford to pay, and that's an important part of our mission.
Yeah, it is. Oh, wow. Thank you for that information. LaVon, as somebody deeply connected to the Oglala Lakota Nation, could you share how Indigenous values are woven into the fabric of MAICC's educational approach?
Yes, actually, we use not only Oglala Lakota values in our 7 teachings, but we also use the Ojibwe grandfather teachings as well. And those teachings, we do that by role modeling behaviors. We want our children to grow up kind. We want them to be generous. We want them to be giving, compassionate, show humility, have empathy for each other. And that's really important in our values. And we see that in our children every day. I can give you an example of a child one day that was feeling sad and just sitting alone. And 3 or 4 of the children just intuitively got up from the work that they were doing, went over to the child that was feeling sad, and they all kind of surrounded this child and hugged this child. And it was just so natural to do that. And that's part of our values. The values are integrated into the curriculum, into everything we do. And I just want to say that those values are extremely important to children's development. I think everybody is familiar with the boarding school era. And we know that children were removed from their homes. They were placed in boarding schools. They were removed from their communities. And they lost their culture. They lost their language. They lost their identity. And if you look at those old pictures in history books, you'll see photos of children with no smiles. You see the sadness in their eyes. And I can tell you that we see children coming to our school every day with smiles, that want to be there. They're proud to be American Indian. They're confident and they know who they are. And that's all part of that spiritual, emotional, physical growth of our children. And that's so important to development. And we know that if you don't have that spiritual grounding, that connection to language and culture, it's going to be really hard to be successful in our school. And as I said earlier, our children are leaving us confident and they're going to change the world for us.
Wow, that's awesome. And, you know, a lot of, give me a lot of applause, Janice, for breaking the cycle that that's been handed to us for generations. So that's a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Thank you, Robert. We have a overinvestment to make to compensate for the generations and to make up, right? So I hope that that's a lot of what we're able to do, is to give them the best and the most beautiful opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, both of you are in the community. I see you all around. And I know, Janice, you work extensively in the American Indian community in St. Paul before you're, starting the Montessori journey. What strategies have you found effective in engaging parents and caregivers? Because I know, as a former high school teacher here it's hard to engage sometimes the parents.
Absolutely. It's really foundational because our little ones truly rely on their parents at this age. We work really closely and are in daily contact with families about how things are going and the kinds of things we want to promote at home. The stability of routine is absolutely critical. And we talk about that often. We actually have, what we provide is a family nest. So we take it from that cultural perspective of working together. It takes more than Miss Janice, and it takes more than the children's house. It takes the parents' cooperation and willingness. We've learned over the years that our parents are our best advocates. I don't do a lot of advertising because I have more than enough referrals coming in the door from our very happy, proud parents doing that advocating and referring for us. And so that's testimony to how much they actually embrace what we're doing, believe in what we're doing, participate in what we're doing, and see it in their children. And so those engagement strategies really is to accept parents and children where they're at and then begin a journey together. We talk about that often. We're not doing it alone. We're working on this together. So when children actually begin to start demonstrating some of those shifts and changes, parents immediately start saying, how did you do that? Why don't they do that for me? And so we have many conversations about how we can do it together.
That's awesome. And I'm wondering too, because we're all over the country and we're on 20 stations daily. Can you give your website or how to get a hold of you, or your Facebook, if there's people interested across the country in mirroring what you do?
Awesome. I've shared the website, but we are www.americanindianmontessori.net. And we're located in St. Paul. You can reach us also by calling 651-478-1189. Our website has all of our staff and our emails to access as well. And we are very interested in spreading what we do to other communities, particularly our tribal communities. It's a big part of our vision to be the premier model. You can only be a great model if others are willing to follow. So we hope to focus our next 10 years on sharing what we do and why it's so special and why we believe it's important for more communities to take a look at how what we're doing can be done in their community.
Wow. Good words. Good words. We only got a couple minutes left, LaVon. Do you have any last words? And
I do. So I really want to do a shout out to the Yes for St. Paul Families campaign. We are a member of that coalition. And I think it's really important that families and grandmas and parents and uncles and aunties and extended families that have and really care about access to learning, affordable learning, opportunities for culturally relevant learning, go to the polls this fall and vote. I think childcare is extremely expensive. And as Janice said, we never turn a child away but all children deserve access. So really encourage parents and family members, all those kinship systems that we have in our community, to go out and support this initiative. All of our children and all of our communities will benefit from this initiative.
Well, I agree, LaVon, and we talk about Montessori schools and childcare, how much more those young ones are ahead of the game than people that can't participate in this. It's an amazing social experience for them, and they learn so much. LaVon, you agree?
I do agree. And I'm just going to take one moment to say that the Montessori education is over 150 years old. It's a method that works in our community. It's child-centered, and the child is considered sacred in Montessori, just as we consider the child sacred. Many compatibilities between our culture and Montessori.
Wow. Janice, you got 30 seconds here. I just want to say I've been trying to get you on my show for 7 years, and glad you're here today.
Thanks, Robert. I knew the shout out and the challenge would come, and I absolutely am so pleased to be a part of sharing. And we will have to schedule another time so we can continue to share about some of the amazing work. Perhaps the family can join us next time.
That'd be great. That would be great. Doors open anytime, Janice. All seriousness, really. Thank you so much, both you, Peony Gigi, to both you for coming on.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Right on. Hey, Native Roots Radio, we have Arvina Martin up next. Stay with us.
Attention transit customers. On Saturday, March 16th, Metro Transit will make changes to transit service within your community. As we do each quarter, we review our resources and ridership trends. These service changes continue our ongoing work to best serve customers throughout our system with our given resources. A summary of the upcoming service changes and a preview of the updated schedules are available now at metrotransit.org.
As nature awakens this spring, let's awaken to the call of protection. Native brothers and sisters, let's bloom together by getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Let's nurture our heritage and safeguard our futures, one vaccination at a time. So be a vaccinative this spring by protecting yourself and others in our Native community. Whether you're due for an updated vaccine or just getting started, all COVID vaccines offer vital protection against severe illness. For our elders over 65, the latest vaccine is recommended by the CDC to maintain protection. So spring forward with strength, Native communities. Embrace the renewal of the season and safeguard our traditions by getting vaccinated against COVID-19. For more information, including details about clinics offering free vaccines, visit vaccines.gov. That's vaccines.gov. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl! J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. the good stuff.
Think your company's safe? Your staff is working from home, right? As I speak, cyber criminals are mounting attacks across the country. Remember, when we're weakest, cyber criminals attack. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 45. Then Thursday, clearing skies with a low of 55. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic, or NAC, in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are excited as always. Now it's a full Ho-Chunk radio show happening right now, and we have our friend Arvina Martin, CEO and director of Merge Wisconsin, and we love checking in our friends in Wisconsin and Madison and talking a little politics and what's happening with the Merge. Welcome, Arvina. We've missed you. Oh,
yeah, we have to have our 5/4 Ho-Chunk day.
Always.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. It's good to be back. It's been a bit.
Well, I noticed too that Haley said you weren't able to come on last week, and then all of a sudden it popped up in my feed that you were a star of some kind of you were a speaker at some kind of event happening. I'm going, of course she can't come on. She's busy doing her thing.
Yeah, I was speaking last Wednesday night at the an event for the Wisconsin Democratic Party, talking about Tribes 101. So we talked a little bit about sovereignty and what that means, and how sovereignty and tribal sovereignty are the same thing, and why tribal sovereignty is important, and why the concept of tribal sovereignty is different than what the federal government is peddling. And how to work with tribes and how to work with Native communities, and how to get Native people involved in political campaigns, and get Native people to run for office, and just getting people involved and how to do it in an appropriate way, and respectful. So
It's when you say that too, Arvina, it's really exciting when you do run into a politician or a person that's a white ally and they get it. That really, really excites me. And it's work like you do and our ancestors and other people, and the work that they put in too to learn. But when you do things like that, and I remember seeing your 101 on Native sovereignty when I was in Wisconsin, it's just amazing that people want to learn, and in a good way. So bravo to you, and bravo to the people that really get engaged with it.
thank you so much. Yeah, I was telling people that, even something as simple as learning how to say hello in that particular community, in their language is kind of a nice little first step, you're making the attempt to learn, and learn the language of the people whose land you live on. And making, it is just a first little tiny step, but it's one that people appreciate, because so few people do it, that sometimes some of these things that we think of, or that people would think of as common courtesies, are not so common, and people are shocked at the reaction it gets, because one would think that acting in a certain way when reaching out to tribal communities, or wanting to host events jointly with a tribal community, or something like that, that the respect that is shown, you would think that more people would do that, but you would be wrong. There's a lot of people that just come in, and I mean, you guys know this, they come in and demand, use of a space, or demand someone come in and talk to their class about A, B, or C, and don't think anything about the time that they're asking, or the emotional labor that they're asking somebody to do, or asking someone to come in and say, we want to do a land acknowledgement, and like, does the tribe care? Like, why are you, what's the point? What is your ultimate goal in doing this? And kind of getting them to think about what their actions, are they performative, or are they actually helpful to the community that they're trying to build relationships with? So
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're here with Executive Director of Merge Wisconsin, Arvina Martin, and I've been in discussion with the land acknowledgments, and I think it was exciting at first when asked to do that, and now it's like you said, is this performative, or are you making you feel better? And who's the
yeah.
land acknowledgement for? And I know in Ho Chunk and, here in Minnesota, the Ojibwe and Dakota know, and especially the Dakota here in Minnesota know that this is their land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because people will come in and you're like, yep, I sure feel acknowledged. Like, thumbs up. Great. Now what? And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what is your feeling about the Biden and Trump race in Wisconsin? Because I know what my feeling is, and I feel like we're all sick of the orange one hasn't won the last two elections. 3 million votes the first time and 8 million the next. And Wisconsin was a heavy duty partner in overthrowing him. And I feel like we are doing so much better, and the mass media is the one that's driving this race, talking about it being so close.
I think that Democrats in Wisconsin and in Minnesota as well, but anybody who doesn't want to see a Trump second term is going to have to work really hard, and we're going to all have to do something. Whether that is making sure that we get to the polls ourselves, making sure we do that at least is going to be a big deal. Maybe we can help get some of our friends and relatives. Maybe we have some of our elder relatives that we can help get to the polls, or friends and relatives, that have maybe they don't have cars, giving people rides to the polls, or remembering to remind people, just and then I'll get into where I think we're at, but when people there's so many studies that people do on behavior and voting behavior, and one of the biggest things that makes that will predict whether someone goes to the polls and goes to cast their ballot is if they make a plan to vote. So if you talk to me on election day and I've asked you if you have voted yet, and you say you haven't, the next thing out of my mouth, guaranteed on election day, is going to be, oh, okay, so are you going to go vote on your way home from work? Okay, so you're going to stop by, so you're going to drive from work to your polling place, before you pick up dinner, before you go home, and you help them make that concrete plan in their head. And then they're more likely to go vote. So anybody who ever talks to me on election day gets that conversation, and always. And then, if they're like, oh, well, I don't know, or, oh, I got to do this. Well, then you help them problem solve, and then help them make that plan. But I really think that given all of the policy concerns, thinking about all the tariffs that Trump wants to put into place that are going to make everything cost so much more. And the biggest and most personal issue to me, I know we've talked about it, is reproductive health. Wisconsin has one of those archaic laws about abortion that happened before, that was put into law before Wisconsin was a state, just like our let me go through all the states that start with A before I get to Arizona. But and though that's an issue that is very, very important to so many people, and not just people who identify as women. That it's going to be, it's such an important issue, and it affects all of us. And so we need to be talking about that, because we don't know what they're going to take after they take this. They're going to take birth control, and how many of us use birth control to manage symptoms for for conditions that have nothing to do with giving birth. It's what if we keep talking about issues like this, then Wisconsin and Minnesota are both going to stay blue. But we need to keep talking about these and how they affect our everyday lives, because they absolutely do. And they affect our children's lives. And it terrifies me. We're actually at Emerge going to be working on an event that we're going to be talking called Women Talk Politics Day. And you can look up womentalkpolitics.org, I believe. And it is going to be on May 2nd this year. And that is the 1 year anniversary the anniversary of the Dobbs decision. So we encourage all women to talk politics that day with your friends, and talk about how they affect you, because they do. Anybody who talks about, I don't like to talk about it because it doesn't have anything to do with my life. It does. It has everything to do with, how you protect your health, how you look at your paycheck, how you afford all of your groceries and the gasoline that you put in your car. All of these things are things that are going to be determined by the next election. I mean, and, not to mention democracy as we know it.
Yeah,
to vote
absolutely.
on the guy that said he would be a dictator on day one.
Yep,
So.
exactly. And his last presidency, on day 2, he signed the Dakota Access Pipeline, and he said, "Drill, baby, drill." That was the second day. That wasn't the third day. That
Nope.
wasn't the 10th day. That was the second day, and that was a direct attack at our native neighbors in the Dakotas.
Exactly.
Hey, we're here with Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin, Arvina Martin. We're going to be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. As we gear up for American Indian Celebration Month in May, it's crucial to prioritize our health, especially with celebrations on the horizon. If you start feeling off, like a fever, a tickle in the throat, or heavy fatigue, don't ignore it. Take an at-home COVID-19 test right away. And remember, if you're not feeling well, it's okay to stay home. Your health comes first. A quick note on COVID testing. The Minnesota Department of Health's free COVID-19 at-home testing program has ended. But don't worry, if you're uninsured, you can still find no-cost tests using the CDC's COVID-19 testing locator. If you have health insurance, you might be eligible for free tests or reimbursement for testing expenses. Just ask your local pharmacy or health insurance provider for more information. Stay informed, stay protected. Let's prioritize our health this American Indian Celebration Month in May and ensure our communities and elders remain safe and healthy. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health. Visit health.state.mn.us.
Hi, I'm Chuck Manette, owner of Native Concrete and Masonry. Whether it's cracks in your existing sidewalks, steps, chimney restoration, or a whole new project, You can trust our team to ensure satisfaction through detailed planning and precision. Native Concrete and Masonry is a Native American-owned business, and we have worked with our clients throughout the Twin Cities metro area. We work closely with our clients to accomplish our initiatives. Learn more at nativeconcretemasonry.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations. How?
I never know if I'm still on there when it's time.
Yeah, that was a little weak Wisconsin. There we go. Oh, it was a little baby.
Wolf pup.
Yeah, a little pup. Exactly. Oh, Wendy just howled in the other room. Yay. Hey, let's talk a little bit. We are here with Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin. And our friend, Lieutenant Governor, was in Wisconsin this past weekend.
Yes.
What a rock star, huh?
Yes, I was so jealous. I was unable to make it because I have an old age injury. I have a lumbar something in my back that is slipped, and so I couldn't sit in the car to drive up to Black River. So I missed it, but I heard that she rallied all of the troops to kind of get people excited. And I think, did she also participate in one of the congressional district conferences or conventions? I don't know. I saw my Facebook feed was full of a lot of happy brown faces. They saw her.
Well, I don't know if Haley can answer that because I don't know. We had her on as we usually do every other week, but it was fun because the Biden administration reached out to us again to have a special guest, and because we've had the vice president's husband on, and we've had so we've been rocking and rolling, and then we get somebody that's normally on our show. It was kind of funny, but we took the opportunity.
Yeah, she's an outstanding surrogate. She's just, I really love hearing her speak. I believe there was a speech that she did that I saw when the George Floyd protests were happening, and she was asking for people to remain, to not be violent and to be respectful of each other. And the way she did it without like belittling or making the concerns of the people that were protesting, without making those concerns smaller. She just handled it masterfully and was, in that moment, I thought, just such an amazing leader for Minnesota during such, a hard and difficult time. I was so impressed with how she handled it and how she delivered a speech that was not only one that was supposed to have, kind of a calming effect, but it was so respectful. And I just, I thought she did a fabulous job. She's so great. Fangirl right here.
Absolutely. And before I start gushing over the lieutenant governor here in Minnesota, you guys in Wisconsin have a rock star. The past two lieutenant governors are rock stars.
Both of them, actually. Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes was outstanding. He had a wonderful relationship with tribes, and our current Lieutenant Governor, Sarah Rodriguez, is also doing a great job at building those relationships with tribes. I know one of her first trips was to go up to Oneida, and she just literally said, I want to see what you guys are proud of. Show off what, what you want to show off. I mean, and that's such a great way to start and build a relationship, especially for an elected official, to see what your community is proud of. Everybody, we get so caught up in the trauma porn and the things that are not going well, that we forget to share our success stories and share off the resilience that our people have, because we sure as heck are resilient. We're still here, We're
Wow,
500 years later.
Arvina, we've really missed you. We got a lot of people posting here on YouTube and Facebook how great it is to hear from you again. And we are trying to pull together with both lieutenant governors to come on at the same time, and then Haley and I will just sit back and let them interview each other, because they both really respect each other and work together with each other. And we are all so lucky. And I always tell the Lieutenant Governor Flanagan that she'll be our next our next senator, and then possibly the first Native American president. And she was the first Native American to speak at the Democratic Convention, if I do remember, in 2016. So there's all these firsts with our Lieutenant Governor, and we're excited to call her friend and have her on the show as much as possible. I got to segue into this because we only have a few more minutes left. But did you celebrate Monday? I was so happy Monday because it was somebody had to go to court. Somebody had to go to court.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the WNBA draft.
Well, let's talk about that. That was a beautiful thing. And Minnesota Lynx, American on the team, and we're reaching out to try and get her on. But
absolutely. So here in Madison, we don't have a WNBA team here in Wisconsin, but I noticed that within driving distance, we've got you guys getting Alyssa Peely, who is Polynesian and Inupiaq up there by you guys, and then Angel Reese down in Chicago, and then there was another one whose name I don't remember, who is also outstanding. Haley is racking her brain.
Oh,
is it like a Cardozo or something like that?
Oh, yes, that is the right last name. I can't think of her first name right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to come up and get tickets and like buy some jerseys, and I hope they make some jerseys that are inspired by her heritage, because I want some of those ones.
Absolutely, definitely. So that was really exciting, and I was really been following the women's basketball more than men's basketball the past few years. College basketball, I think it's a better, more pure game, and really been exciting to watch. And I'm one of the 14 million, and 18 million people that have watched the Final Four and the final game this year.
Those games were all really exciting. I watched more women's college basketball during March Madness than I watched men's this year, as it was it was more entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. And that's ride that wave and support these teams, and
absolutely
and get them on national television so they can pay their players a decent amount.
Right, exactly. So they don't have to go to Russia and earn money and get trapped.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Great point. And I'm glad you brought that up. I also was like, Monday for me was a big thing too, because the orange one was in court, and
and he had his nap in court yesterday.
Yeah.
Someone was a little asleep. Someone went hamu in court.
One of the things that I want to just say, and we talk to the Lieutenant Governor, and we bring it up all the time, Arvina, is that we respect our elders. If you're 81 or 80, I mean, there's a lot of people doing things that are 80 now, as opposed to when I was a kid, when 60 was old. People are moving and grooving still at 80, and we respect our elders as natives. We got a minute left. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I remember, what is the other saying, that there are some people who are elders and then there's other people that are just old.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah. So
Hey, Arvina, thanks for coming on, and we've missed you. We got to have you on again real soon, and we'll give a shout out real quick. You're executive director of Emerge Wisconsin. Let
Yeah.
everyone know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, go to email me at arvina@emergewi.org, or check us out at wi.emergeamerica.org.
The Big Peeny Gigi. Hey, we're still here. We are the 7th generation. This has been Native Roots Radio.
Free Leonard Peltier now.
As winter bids farewell, step into spring adventure with Next Chapter Booksellers.